For 50 long years, the greatest throne in the kingdom of Luminor remained empty. Not because the kingdom had no rulers, not because there were no heroes, but because no one dared to sit upon it. Some called it sacred, others whispered that it was cursed. Yet the truth had been forgotten by time itself. Every child in Luminor grew up hearing the same warning: never seek the empty throne. Kings, warriors, scholars, even the wealthiest nobles had all stood before it, and every single one walked away. None could explain why. The Hall of Kings remained silent. Dust covered its marble floor. Golden sunlight entered through towering stained glass windows. The throne waited, patiently, as if it were still expecting someone. Not the strongest, not the richest, not the bravest. Someone else. Across villages and marketplaces, stories continued to grow. Some believed the throne judged every human heart. Others believed anyone who desired power would lose everything. With every passing generation, the legend became stronger, and the truth became weaker. Far away, beyond the mountains, beyond the royal roads, lived a young map-maker named Kalen Breyer. Unlike everyone else, he had never dreamed of becoming a king. His greatest treasure wasn't gold, it was curiosity. Every morning, Kalen filled blank pages with rivers, mountains, hidden trails, forgotten villages. He believed every road told a story, and every story deserved to be remembered. While others searched for fortune, Kalen searched for understanding. He listened more than he spoke. He helped strangers without asking for a reward, and wherever he traveled, people remembered his kindness, not his name. One quiet evening, as the last light of sunset painted the hills in gold, an old traveler appeared outside his workshop. His robes were worn, his wooden staff carried ancient carvings, but his eyes held centuries of wisdom. The old man smiled gently. Without saying a single word, he placed an aged royal invitation upon the table. Its broken wax seal carried the emblem of Luminor. Kalen looked at it in silence. His peaceful life. The invitation contained only one sentence. The kingdom does not seek a ruler. It seeks someone willing to understand the empty throne. Kalen folded the letter carefully. He had no idea that one simple decision would lead him toward the greatest mystery in the history of Luminor, had just changed forever. The next morning, before the sun had fully risen above the mountains, Kalen closed the wooden door of his small workshop one last time. He carried only a leather satchel, his map journal, and the mysterious royal invitation. He wasn't chasing a throne. He was following a question. The ancient road to Aurelis stretched for miles. Along the way, travelers spoke in hushed voices. Every conversation ended with the same warning: the empty throne changes people. Some laughed nervously, others refused to even say its name. Kalen listened, but kept walking. That evening, he shared a campfire with wandering merchants. One old merchant leaned closer and whispered, "My grandfather once stood before that throne. He never touched it. When he returned, his hair had turned completely white." No one questioned the story. Fear needed no proof. Another traveler spoke quietly. They say the throne sees your true heart. It doesn't judge your face, it judges your intentions. The fire crackled in silence. Everyone looked into the flames, except Kalen. He stared at the stars, wondering, could a chair really know a person's heart?
Days passed. Forests became valleys. Valleys became rivers. Every step carried him farther from the life he had always known. Yet, strangely, he felt no fear, only curiosity. Sometimes, the greatest journeys begin not with confidence, but with questions. Finally, as the golden sun began to set, the capital appeared, Aurelis. Its white marble towers touched the clouds. Golden banners danced in the evening wind. Bell towers echoed across the valley. It was more beautiful than anything Kalen had ever drawn on a map. Standing before the enormous palace gates, Kalen suddenly felt very small. Royal guards slowly opened the towering doors. Instead of fear, they welcomed him with respect, as though they had been expecting his arrival. Inside the palace, a graceful young woman waited beneath towering marble columns. She stepped forward with calm confidence. "I'm Princess Elira." Her voice carried kindness, not authority. Then she smiled warmly. "Welcome to Luminor, Kalen." Kalen looked surprised. "How do you know my name?" Elira smiled again. "My grandfather always believed, one day, the kingdom would send us someone who never wanted power." Before Kalen could answer, heavy footsteps echoed through the royal hall. A tall man dressed in dark royal robes emerged from the shadows. His sharp gray eyes studied Kalen carefully. "I am Lord Malric Foss, the royal chancellor." His smile was polite, but his eyes revealed something else: calculation, ambition, and a secret he had hidden for many years. Lord Malric walked ahead without saying another word. The palace corridors grew quieter with every step. The walls were covered with portraits of kings, queens, and heroes whose names had been forgotten. Finally, they stopped before two enormous ancient doors. Above them were carved four simple words: the Hall of Kings. The heavy doors opened slowly. A deep silence filled the air. Sunlight poured through towering stained glass windows. At the very center of the hall stood the empty throne. No guards surrounded it. No chains protected it. Yet no one dared come close. It simply waited, as though it had all the time in the world. Kalen expected to feel fear. Instead, he felt something he couldn't explain: peace. The throne wasn't terrifying. It wasn't beautiful because of gold. It was beautiful because of its silence, almost as if it were alive, watching, waiting, listening. Princess Elira quietly stepped beside him. "My father stood here. My grandfather stood here. So did every great ruler before them. But none of them ever sat down." Kalen looked at her. "Why?" She slowly shook her head. "No one knows." Lord Malric finally spoke. "For 50 years, people have searched for magic. They searched for hidden powers. They searched for secret treasures." He smiled slightly. "They searched everywhere, except inside themselves." Malric turned toward Kalen. "What do you see?" The room became completely silent. Even the wind outside seemed to disappear. Every eye waited for his answer. Kalen looked at the throne once more, then quietly replied, "I don't see power. I see responsibility. I see thousands of lives depending on one person. And honestly, I don't know if anyone should ever want that." Silence followed. Princess Elira stared at him. No visitor had ever answered like that. Most dreamed of becoming king. Some dreamed of glory,
Others dreamed of wealth. But this stranger only saw responsibility. For the first time, hope appeared in her eyes. Lord Maloric's confident smile slowly disappeared. He had expected ambition. Instead, he found humility, something far more dangerous, because humble people could never be controlled.
Suddenly, a soft golden light appeared beneath the empty throne. Ancient symbols began glowing across the marble floor. A deep rumble echoed throughout the Hall of Kings. The throne had finally responded. After 50 silent years, it had chosen to reveal its first secret. A deep rumble echoed beneath the Hall of Kings. The marble floor trembled gently. Dust drifted from the towering pillars. Slowly, the empty throne moved aside, not by human hands, but by a hidden force that had slept for centuries. No one spoke. No one breathed. History was unfolding before their eyes. Beneath the throne, an ancient spiral staircase appeared. Golden light rose from the darkness below. The air felt warmer, older, almost sacred. Princess Elira whispered, "This passage doesn't exist on any royal map." Master Orwin simply smiled. It was never meant to. The group slowly descended. Each stone step carried the weight of countless generations. The walls were covered with carvings, not of battle, not of crown, but of ordinary people helping one another. Farmers, builders, teachers, children. Kaelin frowned. "This doesn't look like the history of kings." Master Orwin answered softly, "It isn't." At the bottom, an enormous underground chamber opened before them. There were no piles of gold, no jeweled crowns, no legendary weapons, only silence, and one simple wooden table, standing alone in the center. On the table rested a small wooden chest. Its surface was worn smooth by time. Ancient symbols were carved into every side. Unlike the palace above, nothing here was designed to impress. Everything was designed to teach. Lord Malric watched everything in silence. His own crystal continued glowing beside him, waiting, patiently. But he refused to touch it, because he already knew what it would reveal. Master Orwin looked at Malric with quiet compassion. "You are not afraid of failure. You are afraid of facing yourself." Those words struck deeper than any sword. Malric lowered his eyes, but still refused to move. A deep rumble shook the chamber once more. The golden crystal dissolved into countless rays of light. Behind Kaelin, an enormous stone door slowly opened. Beyond it, a magnificent hall bathed in golden sunlight appeared. The ancient voice echoed one final time. "The second trial belongs only to the one who accepts the truth." Kaelin stepped forward. Lord Malric remained behind. For the first time, the path of humility and the path of ambition had completely separated.
Kaelin held the mirror tightly. This isn't treasure. It isn't magic. It's trying to teach us. Lord Malric laughed quietly. Only fools search for lessons. The wise search for power. For the first time, their paths no longer pointed in the same direction. The mirror suddenly floated into the air. Golden light filled the chamber. An ancient voice echoed through the stone walls. Only one heart may continue. The floor began to shake once again, and two glowing crystal pedestals slowly rose from the ground. The first true trial had finally begun. The underground chamber became completely silent. The mirror floated higher into the air. Its golden light illuminated every ancient carving on the walls.
Then the voice returned. The first trial is not courage. It is honesty. Neither man moved. Both understood. There was no turning back. Two crystal pedestals slowly rose from the stone floor. One crystal glowed with worn golden light. The other shimmered with a cold blue flame. The ancient voice spoke again. Touch the crystal and reveal the truth hidden within your heart. Lord Mallory stepped forward immediately. But before his fingers touched the crystal, he hesitated. For the first time in years, confidence disappeared from his face. Because deep inside, he feared one thing more than failure: the truth. Without saying a word, Kalen walked toward the golden crystal. He didn't ask what it would show. He didn't ask if it would hurt. He simply placed his hand upon it. The chamber exploded with brilliant golden light. Images surrounded him. He saw himself as a child, lost in the forest, afraid, alone. He remembered every mistake, every wrong decision, every moment he wished he could change. The crystal hid nothing. Tears slowly filled Kalen's eyes. He watched the faces of people he had disappointed, friends he couldn't save, dreams he had abandoned. The pain was real. Yet, he never looked away. He accepted every memory, every regret, every lesson. The crystal suddenly became brighter. The ancient voice whispered, "Only those who accept their past can build a better future." The golden light wrapped gently around Kalen, not as a reward, but as acceptance.
The light grew brighter. Suddenly, Kalen saw himself wearing the royal crown. Thousands of people cheered his name. The palace stood stronger than ever. Every dream a king could imagine had become reality. For a brief moment, it looked perfect. But the vision continued. The cheering slowly disappeared. The palace corridors became empty. The throne room echoed with silence. Kalen sat alone, surrounded by wealth, surrounded by power, yet completely alone. The crown upon his head suddenly felt heavier. Every decision, every mistake, every life depended on him. He looked exhausted, not because he lacked strength, but because he carried power without peace. The vision shattered like fragile glass. Golden fragments floated through the chamber. The mirror became clear once more. Another message slowly appeared. Power without humility always becomes a prison. Kalen lowered his eyes. For the first time, he understood. The throne wasn't rewarding greatness. It was exposing desire. The more someone wanted power, the farther they moved from it. Behind him, a quiet sound echoed across the chamber. Footsteps, slow, careful. Someone else had entered. Kalen turned around. Lord Mallory stood in the shadows, watching everything. Mallory smiled. So, this is where the kingdom hides its greatest secret. His eyes never left the mirror. For years, he had searched for this place. And now, the secret was finally within reach.
Lord Mallory stepped forward quickly. His eyes sparkled with anticipation. This must be it. The secret every ruler searched for. He reached toward the chest. Before his hand touched it, Master Aurevian quietly raised his staff. Only the invited may open it. The room fell silent once again. Kalen slowly approached. His hands trembled slightly. Not from fear, but from respect. He gently placed both hands on the old wooden lid. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the carvings began glowing with warm golden light. The chest opened without making a sound. Everyone leaned forward, expecting treasure, expecting answers. Instead, inside rested only one object,
an ancient silver mirror, simple, unadorned, perfectly polished. Lord Malric couldn't hide his disappointment. A mirror? Kings protected this place for centuries. For a mirror? But Master Orwin quietly shook his head. No, they protected what the mirror reveals. Kaelin lifted the mirror carefully. Its surface shimmered like still water. Then, letters slowly appeared across the silver glass. Before you can lead others, you must first face yourself. The chamber suddenly grew brighter, and somewhere, deep beneath the palace, something ancient awakened. The silver mirror shimmered like calm water. Kaelin waited for his own reflection to appear, but instead, the glass slowly filled with light. A voice echoed through the chamber. This is not a mirror of faces. It is a mirror of choices.
The empty throne remained inside the Hall of Kings, no longer feared, no longer worshipped, only respected, because everyone finally understood its purpose. It was never searching for the strongest ruler. It was searching for the humblest heart. The world teaches us to chase power. Wisdom teaches us to deserve responsibility. The greatest leaders are not the ones who sit above others. They are the ones who lift others before themselves. Every crown shines, but not every heart is ready to wear it. True greatness begins the moment you choose humility over power, compassion over pride, and purpose over position. This is Aurevian Wisdom, where every story leaves a lesson. Before his hand touched it, Kaelin quietly turned around. He began walking toward the exit. Princess Elira called after him, "Kaelin, what are you doing?" He smiled gently. "I didn't come here to become king. I came to understand." The moment Kaelin walked away, the empty throne suddenly burst into brilliant golden light. The entire palace shook. The ancient carvings across the walls began glowing. The throne had finally awakened. After 50 years, it had made its choice. Lord Malric stood frozen. The throne ignored him completely. Instead, its light followed Kaelin. The ancient voice echoed through the hall. Power follows those who do not chase it. For the first time in his life, Lord Malric understood the meaning of failure. Tears filled Malric's eyes. He slowly removed the royal seal from his robe. Then, he knelt before Kaelin. "I spent my entire life trying to rule others, but I never learned how to rule myself." The silence that followed carried more truth than any speech. Princess Elira picked up the ancient crown. She offered it to Kaelin. He looked at it for a long moment. Then, he gently placed the crown into Elira's hands. "You already carry what a ruler needs. The kingdom needs your courage. My place is beside the people." Years later, Luminor became known as the most peaceful kingdom in the world. Queen Elira ruled with wisdom. Lord Malric became her most loyal advisor after learning humility. And Kaelin never accepted a throne. Instead, he became the kingdom's first keeper of wisdom, teaching future generations that leadership begins with character, not a crown. Lord Malric placed his hand upon the mirror. Instantly, every mirror inside the chamber shattered into thousands of glowing fragments. A powerful voice echoed through the hall. "The final trial begins now." The floor trembled, the walls opened, and beyond them, the empty throne was waiting once again. But this time, it would choose. Not a king, but the heart worthy of protecting an entire kingdom. The shattered mirrors dissolved into thousands of golden lights. One by one, they disappeared into the empty throne. The entire Hall of Kings began glowing brighter than ever before. The ancient voice returned for the final time. The last trial requires no strength, only one choice. A brilliant golden path appeared. It led directly to the empty throne. The voice continued. One of you may sit, one may leave. Choose. Lord Malric smiled confidently. To him, the answer was obvious. Without hesitation, Lord Malric walked toward the throne. His heart raced with excitement. For years, he had sacrificed friendships, honor, peace, everything for this single moment. He slowly reached out toward the throne. At the end of the chamber, one final mirror stood alone. Unlike the others, its surface was completely dark. No reflection, no light, only silence. Almost as if it had been waiting for him alone. Kalen reached out carefully. The moment his fingertips touched the glass, the darkness disappeared. A vision slowly appeared. It was the first king of Luminor, standing beside the empty throne. But he wasn't sitting on it. He was protecting it. The ancient king smiled gently, then spoke words that had been forgotten for centuries. The throne was never created to crown rulers. It was created to protect wisdom. A kingdom survives because of wisdom, not because of power. Kalen listened in complete silence. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echoed behind him. Lord Malric entered the Hall of Reflections, his eyes immediately fixed upon the final mirror. "So this is where the truth has been hiding," he whispered. His voice carried excitement, not understanding. Kalen looked at him calmly. Instead of hiding the mirror, he stepped aside. If you're searching for the truth, it's yours to face. For a brief moment, even Princess Elira looked surprised. True wisdom never fears being shared. As Kalen stepped through the ancient doorway, he entered a chamber unlike anything he had ever imagined. It was perfectly silent. No wind, no footsteps, only hundreds of towering mirrors stretching endlessly into the distance. Each one reflected a different future. Kalen slowly walked forward. One mirror showed him as a great explorer. Another showed him as a humble teacher. A third revealed him as an old man surrounded by children learning from his stories. Every reflection carried the same face, but a different destiny. Then, he stopped before two mirrors standing side by side. In one, he ruled the kingdom with fear. The people obeyed, but never smiled. The palace was magnificent. The kingdom was empty. The second mirror revealed something completely different. No crown, no throne. Kalen walked among ordinary people, helping farmers rebuild broken bridges, teaching children to read old maps, listening before speaking. The kingdom wasn't larger, but its people were happier.